You need to watch out for the red flags. Don't get married too fast. You want to go through at least enough seasons where you see how they handle pain.
Yes.
Their grandmother dies, how he handles that. Does that send him back to drinking and clubbing and being online flirting with other women? You need to see how she or he handles losing a job, because that's how you know the kind of character a person has. It's not when they're on the mountaintop and they're getting everything they want. You need to see how they handle loss. You don't want to connect yourself with someone who cannot handle the pain of life, and then you find yourself in and out of rehab with them all the time.
Wow.
You don't want to take too long to get married. I see some people be dating for 10 years. I'd be like, what in the world are you waiting on? You know what that's showing me? Red flag. That person has a commitment issue. And I cannot prove this in the Bible, but I'll just tell you, through 20 years of ministry, after about 2 years of y'all being together, you should at least be talking about the next step in your relationship. After 2 years of I love you too, I love you. Okay, how much do you love me? If you love me that much, put a ring on it. And so there comes a place where, listen, you either gonna step up or step off, because God got somebody better for me.
But sometimes I'm speaking to women now. Sometimes he'll be with you for 5 to 10 years because you're giving him all of the goods that he is not yet qualified for, because he becomes qualified when he gives you his name. When you have his name and a ring on it, then he can have all of the goods. So if you close the shop so he can't have any of the goods, see what he does.
It's true. It's so true. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Now, this is just to spark a conversation, but is it fair to say that some of you rush marriage towards the late 20s, early 30s, just because you feel like your biological clock is running out? It's not necessarily saying that you found the person that you want to be married to. You just feel like this is the next step and this is the next thing on your to-do list because you've done everything else. And most of the things you've already done in your early 20s was you having fun. So now you feel like you're in the next stage of your life, but you just are rushing into it because you feel like your biological clock is running out. Because if you start to give your person ultimatums and you're walking around, oh, we've been together for a year and a half, I'm an amazing person, why wouldn't you want to marry me? You don't see an issue with that mindset at all? That doesn't sound like a little bit of narcissism towards the end? Oh my God, I'm this amazing person, why wouldn't you want to marry me? You're starting to rush someone into marriage because you've done all the things on your to-do list. That doesn't sound a little weird at all? Like I said, not pointing fingers, just...
So I made the mistake of getting married at 21 years old, and then I was divorced by 29. And then I remarried my now husband when I was 32, almost 33. So I've learned a few things about being a young bride, and I want to tell you my takeaway. And I was inspired to share this because I saw a clip from Caroline Baudino, I think I'm saying her last name right, her podcast. And she basically was saying that she wants to urge young women to stop rushing into marriage, and I could not agree more, and here's why. My plain and simple reason for not getting married young is that you don't know yourself in your 20s. You need your 20s, girls, to really get to know yourself before you can commit yourself to somebody else. Okay, I had to come inside because it's getting way too loud out there with the bugs, but let's continue. So not only do you need to know yourself, but you need to establish yourself so that you can stand on your own 2 feet and take care of yourself financially, emotionally, heal yourself, get rid of any childhood wounds you may have. And that way you're not looking for this person to save you, complete you. Like, you're your own whole person. There's no such thing as needing a partner in life to be your other half. Like, none of us are halves, okay? We're all whole people. So really get on your own 2 feet and be independent, because there's freedom with independence. And if you get into a relationship without independence, I'm telling you, it's a scary place to be, because then you're not going to make the best decisions for yourself if you feel like you can't leave a relationship because you can't afford to financially or emotionally. It's scary. Like, you need to be on your own 2 feet and be a whole, complete, happy person. And I'm gonna give you a personal example. So we're actually gonna get into law of attraction here, because it totally applies no matter what stage of life you find your partner. Law of attraction plays a role in it, but this is why it's crucial not to get married in your 20s, especially your young 20s like I was, from a law of attraction standpoint. So let's talk about it. So we know law of attraction, like attracts like, okay? When I was 21, I attracted a like-minded partner. We were both broke college students and, just wanted to build a life together. The vibe was the same. But because I didn't know myself or understand like what my standards were, or even like my full big dreams, like I thought I knew my dreams, but like you just really don't know yourself. I can't stress that enough. And because I didn't know that, like I wasn't energetically in the place to attract my actual ultimate dream life partner, because I wasn't in that place. And this is why it's important. Like you need to energetically get to the place of what you really want for your life and what you want to be. Like you got to do the work first. Like you have to be that person to have that person, because like attracts like. So you can't just expect like this magical perfect person to come to you when like energetically like you're not at that same playing field. It doesn't quite work that way. And so when I found my first husband at 21, like it was fine for the moment, but then as we like grew up, basically things didn't align and weren't a match for each other anymore. And sure, this could happen at any age of life. People can grow apart, but I think it's different when you come together once you know yourself and you are established. It's a much better foundation than just not knowing who the hell you are. And when you're established, the vibe in the marriage and relationship is, I want to be with you. I choose to be with you, not I need to be with you. I'm going to say that again. When you're established and you're confident in who you are, you know that your happiness is your job and that your happiness doesn't come from other people and it's not their job to make you happy. When you know those things and you're on your own 2 feet, you choose a relationship because you want to, not because you need to. So want and need are very different energies in a relationship, and that's important to keep in mind. And I once heard someone talk about marriage and how it is you choosing to walk side by side in your journey. Like you've got your journey, they've got their journey, and you choose to share each other's journeys side by side and cheer each other on. Like that is a healthy relationship in marriage, in my opinion, versus being like, we're one, we're each other's other halves, you're my better half. Like, oh my gosh, I could throw up if I hear that. You're your own person. You're your own person, and we've got to stop looking to marriage to complete us and buy into this fairy tale that Disney sold us that we need to be saved, because you don't. And look, I know people who have found their person in their 20s and it's worked, but they're the exception, not the rule. And that's my opinion. Anyways, I could go on and on about this. Clearly, I've been talking for 5 minutes, but let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to know. Everyone be kind to each other, because I'm sure everyone's getting very different opinions about this topic, but I am curious to know what you think. And let me know if you want a part 2 of how I completely rebuilt my life at 30 when I was going through my divorce. I only had $30 to my name. I completely started over. I manifested so much money. I really established myself. My business was thriving. I was thriving. Like I turned it around so fast, and I really credit that to mindset and manifestation, law of attraction, all the things. So I could tell you stories that'd make your jaw drop on the floor and make you a believer in law of attraction manifestation.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, we'll be talking about a very important topic, why you should not rush into getting married. Okay, so I had to put the TikTok videos together so that you watch and learn. So I'm just here to share my true sense, like what I think about today's video. Okay, we often hear that marriage is the ultimate goal in a relationship, but I want to talk about why it's crucial not to rush into it. Trust me, it's not about being anti-marriage, but rather making sure you're ready for one of the biggest decisions in your life. So let's get into it. Society puts so much pressure on us to get married by a certain age, whether it's from family, friends, or even the idea that everyone on your Instagram is posting engagement pictures. The pressure is real, but just because other people are getting married doesn't mean you have to jump on the train. Marriage is not a race. That's one thing we should consider, and there's no finish line. It's all about making the right decision at the right time. Rushing into marriage because of external pressure can lead to regret later. You may end up marrying someone not because you're fully sure about them, but because you feel like it's the right time. But timing is not everything. The person and the connection are. Here is one of the major reasons to slow down. Do you really know your partner? When were you in the honeymoon phase? everything seems perfect. Your partners quickly seem cute. Their habits don't bother you so much. But the honeymoon phase doesn't last forever. Marriage means living with someone flaws, habits, and issues in a way that dating doesn't prepare you for. Before getting married, you need to make sure you and your partner have been through ups and downs. How do they handle conflict? Are they emotionally mature? Have you two discussed future goals, finances, children, and expectations? These are the questions that require time to fully explore. Rushing into marriage before really understanding these things can lead to a lot of frustration later on. One thing I always tell you, people, is not to make sure you have grown into the best vision of yourself before committing to someone else. It's easy to think you are ready for marriage just because you are in a happy relationship, but there is so much more to it. Have you developed the skills to communicate effectively? Are you emotionally stable? Do you know how to compromise? Rushing into marriage without giving yourself the time to grow personally can lead to problems down the line. You might feel trapped or like you are lost your sense of individuality if you don't take the time to really know who you are outside of a relationship. Another thing people often overlook when you're rushing into marriage is financial stability. Love is important, but so is money. That's one thing you should know. I'm not saying that your partner needs to be rich, but both of you should have a clear understanding of your financial situations before getting married. Marriage often involves shared responsibilities, rent, bills, even kids, and without financial stability, those pressures can strain your relationship so much. So before rushing into marriage, make sure you had real conversations about money, debt, savings, and long-term financial goals. These topics are not always romantic, but they're definitely necessary. Did you know that rushing into marriage is one of the reasons behind rising divorce rates? When you rush, we overlook red flags or don't take the time to learn how to handle difficult times together. Marriage is not just big party and honeymoon, it's a day-to-day life afterward. If you go into marriage with unrealistic expectations, you're more likely to be disappointed when things get tough. So why not take your time? The more you wait, the more you know if it's the person you're willing to go through life challenges with. You're not just marrying a person, you're marrying their problems, their family, their past, and their future. Okay, my biggest advice is to take time to reflect on yourself, on your partner, and on your relationship. Marriage is a beautiful thing, but only when you are really ready for it. Communicate openly with your partner, set realistic expectations, and mostly important, give yourself time to grow, both individually and as a couple. Um, when you're about to get married, you have to be ready, like mentally, okay? Don't just rush because you're in a financial situation. Now you just want to get out of the poverty. Get my point? You have to be ready because this is the person you'll be waking up to next to every day. Okay? So you have to be ready for the fights, for the happy moments, for the crying. You have to be ready to build each other. You have to know how to communicate properly and make sure that you know your partner. Okay, you have to date someone so that you know. I know you can't know everything about them until you start staying together. This is how you're going to know my man is like this, is like this. Because when you're dating, they'll be hiding certain habits about them. But once you get married to them, you're going to know the type of habits which they have. Okay, yeah. So take your time. Don't just be love bombed and be very careful with someone who just coming and pressure you. We just have to get married. You're just knowing someone for 1 week or 2 weeks. They want to get married to you. You have to assess them because someone can be just coming for something. There's a certain story which a certain lady met a man online. He came to the country, and these people, they rushed into marriage. Okay, they got married, and this man went back to his country. So when he went back to his country, he stopped communicating, started ghosting the girl. So the girl had to come into me and write, no, this man has stopped communicating. I don't know what's really happened. And when I tried to communicate to him, he called and said, I don't want to do this anymore because I'm having issues with my with my mother of the kids. She wants to end her life and all that. Then this girl got so shocked and told him, I can give you time, but you can talk about it. What do you think about me? Like, we just got married 2 days. Even our honeymoon phase has not even ended. And this man said, no, I just want to go on with the divorce. This is how this man changed completely. He started showing his real characters. He started telling this girl that I don't want you. You have forced me to get married to you. I wasn't ready. I was just scared that I was in a different country. But who does that? It's you who came and told me that you want to marry me. You know, those things. Yeah, so this is why we say you have to take your time, know a person, because you risk a lot. Someone just comes from abroad, they just come to your country, they say they want to marry you. You don't know this fully, the person. You don't even know their house. You've just seen it in a video call. You don't know their family so well. You don't know what they do that side. You don't know if he's a criminal. You just risk a lot, especially online. So you have to open your eyes and you have to be very careful when you're looking for a partner, because marriage is not a joke. Marriage is not a relationship where you just enter and tomorrow you come out. Okay? You have to take your time. Marriage is a beautiful thing, but with the right partner. So thank you so much for watching. See you in the next episode.